Alright guys, so in today's video I've been thinking about doing just a breakdown of how you can tell if someone's telling the truth or not, just by really listening to their words and really seeing what they're trying to convey, even if they're trying to hide something or if they aren't being direct with you. So for this video, I'm not really critiquing the guy himself, but the story that he's describing. So let's get into this, and I'll give my opinion as we go along.
He actually just not that into you. In this video, I'm going to be showing you the difference between the two. How to know if you push the guy away or if he's actually just not interested. Something's happened in their early dating experience with the guy, and they call me up and say, Mark, this happened and I'm really worried this guy's been pushed away because of this. How do I make it up? How can I fix it? And if you've been in a similar scenario, you know how uncertain this can make you feel. When you think you might have done something to push him away, but you're not really sure, do I chase him, do I not? So I'm going to show you exactly how you can tell the difference and know for sure by telling Sandra's story. So Sandra was a client of mine who called me up, or a first-time caller, who called me up and said, Mark, I've been dating this guy, or I was dating this guy for 4 to 5 weeks, and things were going great. Things were going good with him. We were chatting on the phone. We were having dates once a week or so. Things seemed to be progressing, albeit slowly, they were progressing well.
Okay, so first little hint, a little bit of insight into what's going on here. Bit of a red flag. So she says things are going great, things are going well, albeit slowly. Well, what does that mean? She seemed satisfied with the amount of contact they were having. Like, saw each other once a week. They were texting, talking on the phone. She didn't really have any complaints about that. So, what does that mean? What does that mean? Things are progressing a bit slowly. Now we can guess and say it's probably no sex. Now, this is a guess. I don't know for sure, but let's roll with it. And I would add, like, what's the implication of that? Okay, so they haven't had sex, and in her mind, things are going slowly. So it's slow for her, meaning that she would have sex earlier after she meets the guy. Now, chances are the guy she was talking to is picking up on that. Oh, things are kind of going slow. Maybe she's not that interested. Let's go on.
And then I had to go away for 6 weeks. So I went away for this time.
So again, that huge hit to start of a relationship. You're going 4 or 5 weeks dating, and now you're gonna go away for 6 weeks. And even worse, if a woman's really into a guy, she really liked him, 4 or 5 weeks in, you're leaving for 6 whole weeks. I'm thinking the weekend before she left, she would have put something on him that she would have closed the deal, laid her claim to him. There's no way she wouldn't have had sex with him, knowing that she was leaving for 6 weeks if she was really into this guy. So that's another red flag that she just wasn't that into him. But let's continue.
And the whole time while I was away, we were chatting. We were talking on WhatsApp, mainly text, but we were chatting while I was away. And then I came back, and she said, Mark, I came back, and just before I left, I got news that my dad was really sick. So that was all that was on my mind. I flew on the plane, landed, went straight to Dad, and helped him out that day. I went to see him in hospital and looked after Dad. And she said, that evening, I got a text from the guy, so when are you back? So I sent him a response that says, oh, I actually already landed. I'm here with my dad who's been really sick. And he said, wait, what? You already landed? You didn't even tell me? And she said, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Dad was really sick. It was all my mind was on. When can I see you?
Okay. Let's go back. Yeah, let's pause it here with the text message up. So, more red flags. She didn't tell him when she was coming back. At no point texted him. I mean, to me, if she had been away for 6 weeks, as soon as she figured out when her flight was leaving, when it was going to land, she would have messaged him. So she would have messaged him long before she found out her dad was sick or whatever. I'm not buying it. What else? If she really liked him, she would have confided in him. She would have said, hey, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I'm freaking out. My dad, he's sick and blah, blah, blah. She would have let him know. She would have let him know that, hey, you may not hear from me because I'm going to be landing. I'm going straight to the hospital, so that he doesn't worry about her. And just confiding and letting him know that, hey, I'm freaking out here. This is terrible, blah, 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 blah. So the fact that she didn't say anything to me shows, again, another huge lack of interest. And another tidbit, and this is very important too. It's been 6 weeks. And if you see the end of this text message, when can I see you? Not, oh, I miss you. I really need you. I really want you. I need to see you. I really want to see you. It's, when can I see you? Again, that's just not really showing interest or excitement. It's been 6 weeks you've been apart. When can I see you? Lack of interest.
When can I see you? Now, when Sandra was telling me this story, just between you and me, I couldn't really figure out why. This was such a minor thing, and I was saying in my head, I'm like, why are we spending 15 minutes on this, Sandra? What is the importance of this small?
And again, this is where I disagree. It's not about the small thing. It's an accumulation of things. I think it was just at this point he realized, okay, she's really not interested. I'm wasting my time. I'm going to move on.
Thing that happened weeks ago. But it turned out that Sandra's story was kind of familiar. She said, Mark, ever since that point, things have been different. Ever since that point, he's been distant. Ever since that point, it hasn't felt the same. In fact, ever since I didn't text him to tell him I was home on time, I feel like he's got the message that I'm not that into him. And
why would she assume that? She says, I got the feeling that he doesn't think that I'm into him. She's saying that because she knows. That is deep down. She may not want to admit it to herself, but that's the truth. She's not that into him. She didn't think, oh, well, maybe he's a jealous type and he got angry. He's controlling. He's still mad that he didn't know about my whereabouts. She's not. If she was really, really into him, she'd be confused. She'd be really confused. She would have no idea. The idea that, oh, I wasn't into him wouldn't even come up in her mind. So, again, this another huge sign that she's just not into him.
And I've pushed him away. Now, I've heard hundreds, if not thousands, of versions of this story from people who have called me up or messaged me. It always goes something like this. Things were great, but that I'm not sure why we're talking ever since. What's more, there's always been a correction. Just like Sandra's text where she said, oh, hey, I'm so sorry, my dad was really sick. When can I see you? Right, which is a pretty clear indicator of her interest. The woman's always corrected it, and yet it still had this tail off of, did I push him away? What did I do wrong? Ladies, let me tell you this. If something this minor, if you're in this situation where you think, gee, things were great until, for example, I miscommunicated that text, and everything's been weird for the weeks or even months since I miscommunicated that text. Or maybe you think there was a minor thing, which was I said something on a date that he took the wrong way. Or maybe it was even there was that one time I couldn't hang out with him because I was on a girls' night. I said I was busy with my friends, and ever since then, he hasn't been the same. If you have a story where you have a minor thing, you've corrected it, and there's an ever since ending, I have a message for you. Any relationship that is not solid enough to survive these tiny little blips, that is not the man for you.
And I'm gonna have to disagree with that. I feel like usually those tiny little blimps have been accumulating, and it's a pattern of behavior. So what may seem small in the moment, there's actually been many instances of the same thing, and this guy's like, you know what, she's not for me, and that's why he's moved on. And I think with this guy, with Sandra and her ex-man, or whatever you want to call it, I think he had many build-up of many signs that she just wasn't that into him, and that was just the final straw. Oh, you didn't even 6 weeks away. You didn't even tell me you're coming back. Okay, she's not that interested. Cool. You know, I'll move on.
If something this small was enough to put him off, there is no way in hell he is ever going to deal with the trials and tribulations of a relationship with you. Here's a fact. If the couple is solid, if this is a good guy, you wouldn't even remember this a week later. Literally. For a good couple, something this small, a small misinterpretation, we couldn't see each other, they wouldn't even remember it a week later. It would be a blip on the radar. So if you're thinking about calling up and booking in a discovery call with me to ask...
Anyways, I think that's it. All right. So anyways, very curious to hear what you guys think of this. My review, critiques, thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. Hopefully I'll have more of this style of content coming. Subscribe. You know the drill. All right. Till the next one.